Hi, Kevin McDonald here. I've been a property investor now for over 18 years. I'm known as the UK's leading expert in creative, no money down property investment strategies. And today's video is an absolute exclusive. The first time I have ever done this live on YouTube. We are currently out in my investment area in Nottinghamshire. Here is where I have the majority of my portfolio. So I'm interested in purchasing some of the commercial buildings on this street. Amazon had damaged the high street, but COVID has decimated it. There's empty commercial buildings up and down every high street in the country. I'm on our high street today and there's lots of empty commercial buildings on here. And I'm going to do some viewings to see what we can do with them to get them back into use. This is completely unscripted. I'm genuinely interested in these properties and I'm going to reveal everything so you can see exactly the sort of stuff I'm looking for, what my thought process is, what I'm going to be mainly focused on, how I'm going to look at my numbers. But before we get started, make sure to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm in the wrong building. There's 4 shops with uppers just down the street. I'm literally going to go in and have a viewing. The guy said just wander in, the doors are open, so let's have a look around. Residential property is valued much higher than commercial property. Picking up some commercial properties right now, converting them to residential and adding value. Lots of changes around prior approval with the governments at the moment. Gives us a big opportunity to add massive value in properties. The owners of these commercial buildings are often very motivated, and a great opportunity to secure these buildings on lease option agreements, exchange with delayed completions, so you don't need to put much money in up front. You could even do them with assisted sales. So big opportunities to, number one, get some good properties where you can add value quite easily, but number two is getting them from a motivated seller who is open to a creative solution. So let's have a look inside. The guy said, just walk in, it'll be fine. The alarm's just gone off. So I hope the police don't show up too soon. I actually used to do some charity work as part of Langley work in the local community, and I spent a day working in this shop. So this brings back some memories, this shop. It used to be bustling in here. Anything that's upstairs that's not apartments, you could convert to apartments. There's potential to even go higher into the air, so you got air rights. And on the ground floor, just bring it back into a commercial use. First sign I've seen is shed plus gate key. So I'm thinking, okay, shed plus gate key, what's out there? Is it bigger than we thought it may be? Second thing is, you've got your shop space here. If there's a lot of space out here in the back, if there's access in the back, what that can massively mean is I could close this shop off at this point where the shop has the shop. There could even be a little office bit at the back, and we could come in the back and get upstairs into the apartments. Because one of the challenges with how narrow this building is getting up to the upstairs from the front could be a challenge. But we've got our stairs here at the back, we've got a back entrance door there. I'm looking at the opportunity of getting rear access. So if I go through that back door and there's a big car park with rear access, or a small car park, any type of rear access, we could be on a winner. So let's have a look. Or let's not have a look. If there's no sign of damp in toilets, it's a really good sign. In kitchens, in bathrooms, wet areas of a property, if you've got good solid dry walls, it could be a good sign as well. So always keep an eye out for damp, touch the walls, hit the walls, and just check. Ideally bring a damp meter with you. I'm having a quick look today. I'll be coming back for a second viewing of this if I was interested because of the size, the scale of it. I would want to be coming back and bring a builder with me just to check it out as well and make sure there's nothing that I've missed. I'm a property investor who negotiates deals and works out numbers. Will it make me a return? What could I rent it out for? That's my skill set, that's my speciality. I pay the builders to deliver the building works. Always look for a second viewing and bring the builder with you. So let's go upstairs. See the wall up here where you can see all the paper coming off the wall. When I was starting out in property, I'd look at that and go, oh my God, there's loads of damp. The reality is it's probably unlikely that that's damp. Here you can feel that there's not really much sign of damp. It's just really old wallpaper that's coming away from the wall. So it can look much worse than it actually is. Then you've got more space to go upstairs. And here you've got a really nice large room. Now, one of the things I do always look at is the windows. So again, if this is a conservation area, the windows are probably not likely to be changed. Single glazing, this could be quite cold in the wintertime potentially. One really important spot is these. So the lights, they itself look like they've been there for 1 million years. They've been there a long time. But these ones are updated. These ones actually, when you turn them on, they actually turn the lights on. So the first sign could be the whole electrics need doing, the whole property will need rewiring. But the reality is the lights actually work off the new updated ones. So we've been on the ground floor, the first floor, we're now on the second floor, and there's a staircase heading up into the third floor, our roof space. It seems to be completely boarded up, so it's likely that's external access to stop people getting in. Bedroom number 2. It needs quite a bit of work. Now there is damp here. So you can see the wallpaper coming off the wall. Now that might not be what we think it is though. That might simply be because of the single glazed windows that is causing some of that damp. Now this gets interesting because it's like a maze of corridors. So we've got another room, decent sized room again. So you could easily convert these rooms. You could put an ensuite bathroom over here, a sink, a shower, a toilet, run it through with a builder, and see if we would actually get it to fit into that space. So we got another room here. Now this could be bedroom 4, but can you spot the problem? So just have a look around the room. What's the problem in here? No window. So you need to have a window to make this a bedroom. Now up here, if what we've seen with the bars is the roof space, then up here what we could do is open up the roof and let some light in. You could do that, but this at the moment, it's not usable space because it has got no window. I found a little hole. It's not a window, but it does lead somewhere. Let's see what's behind the magic door. So we've got an exit sign. Oh, this is phenomenal. So we've got another staircase taking us down, and we've got another barred up stairs going up. So let's go down and see what's this way. And it exits into more corridors. This place is an absolute maze. So we've got another room and a bricked out wall. This is awesome, no? So we're straight through to another room. Just from walking from the first door entrance, I'm now lost in my own head. It's an absolute maze. I definitely got to be coming back in here with a planner, with their measuring tapes, with an architect, with my power team, and go, what can we turn this into? What an opportunity, but only if we get the layout right. Initially, I was thinking above that first shop that this could have been a 3-4 bed HMO. Now I'm thinking definitely apartments, splitting it into maybe 1 beds and 2 bed apartments, ideally holding them and renting them, because you sell something, you get paid once, you hold it long term, you're paying yourself forever. So what am I willing to pay for it right now? That will be determined by how many apartments we can get in there. And I think this thing keeps going. There's doors and rooms and corridors everywhere. So let's just see how big it is. The stairs again, going up that way. There's rooms this way. Here's another storage. I'm afraid to decide what that is. If you're watching this and you know what that is, let us know in the comments. I'm probably not going to turn it on in case it's water. Wow. Now, look at that space. That's a whole other floor. That's huge. Huge space just above us. We've just gone across a few buildings there. That's going to run all the way through. And there's 4 more rooms here. Note to yourself, never paint a ceiling black. Look at that ceiling. Don't really want to touch the wiring, but the wiring is really, really old. But in here, we've got some other issues. Cracks. Now, that could potentially be structural. It's likely because of the age of the building that it's not. You can tell here that it's likely the cracks are just plaster because it's almost breaking away from the wall, it's so old. That can often panic people thinking that's a structural crack, but it's very, very likely it's just old plaster that's just breaking away from the walls. But it does mean expense. It does mean going back to brick, replastering it, maybe looking at the pointing on the outside. Maybe it needs repointing as well. But where there's a lot of work, there's lots of opportunity to add some serious value, if you can get it at the right price. I think I've just walked into a horror film. Now that wall is very wet. However, rising damp is usually the biggest problem. Downstairs there's not much damp. This is clearly damp and wet. I would be pretty confident that this is caused by guttering that's leaking down into the render on the outside or the brickwork on the outside, or it's a leaky roof, because this has been empty for years. So that would tie in with the cracks in certain places around the roof as well, that the water ingress is coming in and is causing the cracks. It's very unlikely it's structural. It's more than likely gutter issues, roof issues, nothing major but needs to be dealt with. And there's yet another room. Comment below and let me know how many rooms there is, because I've lost count. I'm gonna have to try and do a count as I go back. We're at least 12 odd rooms, and that's not including the commercial spaces below. So much potential, blank canvas of what you could do with this. I need a planner to work this through with me, but huge potential. I've got my agency up the street, but I bought the building. It's actually scuppered the council. If you look at all the scaffolding and the timber work, my shop's the bit in the middle, the opening in the middle. I could sell that to the council, move my office down here, and be right next door to the estate agents. So I can walk out my door, walk into them, buy a house, walk back inside again. Right, so we're now back in my office. Let me give you a breakdown of everything that's just happened on that viewing. It's a block of 3 different commercial units on the ground floor, and then upstairs, residential spaces that look like they've not been used in probably 50, 60 years, if they've ever even been used as residential. Additionally to the 3 commercial units on the ground floor, there's also a side access way. Cars can get up and down. That's unheard of on this high street, to actually have parking, walk up and down this high street. There's no other shops in the area that have got that. It's up for sale by the owner for 275 grand. That's phenomenal. But what will the value of it be if it was done up? Before I went into the property, my thought process was keep the downstairs commercial units as commercial and look to convert the upstairs. So we do a mixed use, residential upstairs, commercial downstairs. Now we went into the first shop. Didn't know what it was going to be like inside. In my head, I'm thinking we've got 3 different shops, we've got 3 different upstairs units. Reality is, when you went into that first shop, you went upstairs from the back of it and it just became a maze. You can access all across the upstairs just from one of the shops. Now the downstairs right now, there's 3 commercial units. One of them is tenanted. There's 2 years left on that tenancy. The other 2 commercial spaces are empty. But I'm mainly interested in the value of the residential above. So as I walked through the building and realized the amount of space up there, I mentioned 7 or 8 apartments seemed like the sort of size as I walked around. But then the guy finally shows up for the viewing. I'd met him on the street. He'd said, go on, let yourself in, because he was doing a viewing on a different building. And it transpires that he's actually got planning permission for 7 studio apartments. So why are they not selling? Why has it been on the market for a few months? Why is he struggling to get a buyer? Very simple. He made a fundamental mistake. So a lot of interest, but no offers, really.
I think the tattoo thing's putting people off because you can't get
out
to the 7. There's planning for 7 studios.
There's planning upstairs for 7 studios, right? Approved planning, yes. But there's no access to get in. So what he did when he let one of the commercial units is he let them have 2 rooms on the first floor. Now those 2 rooms are preventing access to the rest of the development. So it makes it very difficult to be able to do the works on the apartments. But having looked around the back, I feel there's other access routes we could easily get in there. Yeah, the values upstairs is getting up. Yeah. But surely there must be a way of
there's got to be a staircase.
Getting up there, or even using this to get up. Yeah. So going in there and using it as an entrance point or something. Yeah. Or using the back part as an entrance point. So I positioned the ability to do an exchange with delayed completion. How desperate are they to sell, as in?
They're not desperate, but I think they've got to achieve
Would they be open to something like where we agreed a figure like on an exchange with delayed completion or something?
Possibly.
So exchange on the property, and then just delay the completion, let us come in, do the conversion, and then pay some up front, but then pay the remainder at the end or something?
Possibly.
Why did I do that? Well, with an exchange with delayed completion, it buys me some time to go and see if I can get access in another way. If I can't get access in another way, then I could look to delay the completion for a couple of years. What we could do is start to do the works on the inside, and within a couple of years, tenancy will be coming to an end, for the downstairs commercial unit. At that point, I can negotiate either getting back those 2 units, or maybe that tenant doesn't plan to stay. Lots of businesses are failing around the UK right now. Maybe we could even offer that business to move to one of the other commercial units, or maybe he's looking to move anyway. So one of the things I will be doing as part of any offer I might make is getting in and speaking to the tenant in that ground floor unit to find out what their plans are, because my plans will be directly impacted by their plans. So let's look at the numbers. Right, it's 275 grand on the market. Been there for 3 months. Nobody's offered on it. If we could secure the building for 250, it's going to need about 200 grand spending on it. That'd be the refurb, the finance costs, all in. Let's chuck in the 25 grand again, contingency. 475 grand all in. 7 studios at 50 grand a piece. So 50,000 times 7, we're at 350 grand. Plus we've got the 3 commercial units. They're probably worth 100 grand each. But let's say 80 each to be conservative. So 80 times 3, 240 grand. So 240 grand, that takes us to 590 grand. Now if I keep it, the valuation could be even higher because it'll be based on rental income. But let's just look at the 590. 475 divided by 590, that is 80% loan to value. 80% loan to value means there'll be a little bit of money left in if we spend that amount. 590 divided by 100 multiplied by 75%, we're going to get a mortgage of 442,500. We've spent 475. We're leaving £32,500 in the deal. How do I position this to a joint venture partner? It's all about the return on capital employed. So if we have an in value of 590, and we're getting a mortgage at about 6%. I always like to base it on 6%, even if it's less. Multiply by 6%, that will give us a monthly mortgage payment of £2,212. But we got 7 studios that will rent out at about $375 each in good condition. So $375 per studio times 7 is $26.25. And we've still got the 3 ground floor units, 9+ grand each. One of them was let at 12 grand a year. Let's base it on 9 grand each per year. That's 27 grand a year. Divided by 12 months, that's another $22.50. So the rental income between the studios upstairs and the shops downstairs will be £4,875. So 4,875 minus 2212 will leave £2,663 of monthly profit. Well, let's take away 600 quid for management, maintenance, all those costs. You take that 600 quid away and you've got £2,000 a month profit from that deal. £2,000 a month for 12 months is £24,000 profit, and you've got 32,500 left in the deal. Annual profit 24 grand divided by your money left in, your 32,500, will give you a 73.8% return on capital employed. Now you go to a joint venture partner and say you can make 0.1% on your money in the bank, or you can make 73.8% return on your money. I know what I'd be doing. And remember, as well as the 73.8% return on their money, we also only have a mortgage of 442,500 on a building worth 590 grand. 590 minus the 442,500 is 147.5 grand of equity. I'm really excited for this deal. If you found this video valuable, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. I've been Kevin McDonald. You've been amazing. See you next time.